Today, friends, we are back with another New World video, and we're going to be watching the Forged in Eternum community Q&A for January 2024. So this is the first questions and answers that the devs have done for the year of 2024. I think there's a lot of questions about the game right now, mainly where is everything? Where's the new Outpost Rush map? Actually, and this is the first question that they come up with as well. We can see in the timestamps a little bit of a sneaky peeky here. Where is the new content? That's the very first question in the video. And then we have aim and lock hack, factions and open world imbalance, named gear expansion, main story quest bugs, Boltcaster bug, delayed season 4 content bugs, quality of life and balancing, gold or Azoth, mutators, and objectives bugs. So seems like some pretty decent questions. You know, I think a lot of cases when they take these questions from the Discord, they could just go for the softball kind of questions, but it does look like they've gone for some harder hitting questions right now. So if you're watching this on YouTube, I'll link it in the description down below. Twitch chat, we'll link it after we're done reacting. But let's go ahead and let's see what the devs have to say for the month of January.
Why are you not adding any content until May? Are you going to counter the staggering imbalance of factions in open world during influence races? The bug with Boltcaster elemental damage conversion for PvP was known to YouTubers since it came available. Is there plans to add more than 2 mutators per cycle?
Yeah, I've seen this question
Some
a lot.
spooky music.
Maybe I misspoke last time.
Here we go. There it is, friends.
Hey everybody, welcome to Forged in
Scott.
Eternum, where we talk about all things New World. We're here for the January Q&A, and I got Dave V and Scott with me.
Scott, and Dave.
We're expecting a good one, so Mr. Levin, why don't you just start asking questions?
All right, well, first thing I'm going to ask is something I've seen come up a lot since we posted our last dev update, which is why are you not adding any content until May?
Yeah, I've seen this question a lot.
Why?
Maybe I misspoke last time, but it's not that we're not doing any content between now and May. May's when the big update's going to come. We actually have some content coming out.
Interesting. I don't know if he misphrased that, but my understanding was there was a big announcement in May, but he's saying the actual update is in May, which is interesting. He did say that, right? Hold on, I'm gonna play it back.
It's not that we're not doing any content between now and May. May's when the big update's going to come.
Yeah, big update. Maybe he means update in the terms of like updating us with information, but I think if people took with what he said before and ran with it, they're definitely going to take that and run with it. There you go, big update in May. I thought it was just an announcement for an update and we'd have to wait for it until like August or whatever. That's cool, maybe. I don't know, I'm not going to get my hopes up too much, but we'll see.
We actually have some content coming out. We have a PTR that went live today, which I'll tell you when we film this, which is the group finder. I'm super excited for that. That has the potential to really change the PvE experience. We have a 10-person trial coming. We've got some new artifacts coming. We have the whole update to the main story quest coming, which comes with 2 solo trials. We have the Year of the Dragon coming. And then all of our other events are going to get some reward passes. So I don't think it's fair to say there's no content. Seems like quite a bit to me, and I'm pretty excited to get that out, and I hope you all like it.
All right, will you pick this question after more than 2 years of...
What do you think about the answer chat? Is that content? I think the group finder, it's kind of hard to say if that is content. The solo trials, I mean, any content that you just do once and then you never do it again, I don't know about that. The 10-person trial will be pretty cool though. I would say that's the most significant thing that I would say, you know, does actually qualify as content is the 10-person dungeon thingy. But that's you know, that's it. That's really it, chat. Until this big update in May. Hold on, there we go, full screen. Let's keep going.
Asking, when will Amazon do something about aim hack and lock target hack tool that's being sold for $50 to $100 per month since release?
It is?
Since release. I've not seen any site forum being shut down, nor any announcements about people getting banned for using it.
Yeah, so I can answer
Dude, there's a $50 to $100 aimbot that you can buy? I honestly don't think I've seen that many aimbotters in New World since Musket was changed from hit scan to projectile. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not sure what it looks like. I don't know if you guys are experiencing a lot of aimbot, but not for me. Seems like most people in Twitch chat are saying group find is not content, trials should stay the same. That's why we have the same Outpost Rush map for 3 years. Yeah, I don't consider adding new artifacts as content. Yeah, I don't know. New artifacts can be somewhat content, maybe. Yeah, paying $100 a month to cheat in New World, that's pretty insane. It's pretty... In EU, it's not common. Melee are the hackers, you will never know it. PTR and Group Finder is not content. Oh, I want to say one more thing about the PTR, by the way. The most recent PTR that we had for the Group Finder is terrible. I don't know why, but they made it so that you can only have a level 60 character with 625 gear score. Like, usually when you go to the PTR and you make a new character, you can make a, you know, they give you a character all the way to max level so you can test the end game content. But for this, for some reason, you can only make a level 60 character at 625 gear score, so nobody can really test mutated expeditions in the group finder. So then if it turns out there's any bugs or any feedback that we need to give about mutated expeditions, it's not going to be there because they didn't give us the capacity to test it, which just, I don't know, it's a head scratcher to me. I really don't know why this is a consistent thing with the PTR where they don't give you the tools to test the content, and it happens every time, and I just don't know what you're doing there, Amazon. You gotta figure it out, quite frankly. It seems bizarre. Anyway, let's keep going.
This one, generally, I don't think we're in the business of like pursuing litigation against like third-party sites and stuff. So like in terms of shutting down other people's websites and stuff, that's not something we're really focused on. We're focused on our game and what we can do in it. So it's not that we're doing nothing. We actually have a lot of people working on this problem all the time. Internally, we have a lot of telemetry and things that we are using to detect aimbots.
The cheats.
In addition, we work with Easy Anti-Cheat and our partners over there on identifying these types of cheat tools and issuing like hardware bans and things for players that we detect have them. It's sort of a cat and mouse game always with these kinds of tools because
they're always
we have detection mechanisms and then they find a way around them and then we need to update and it goes back and forth. So, you know, we are banning accounts. We, you know, are successful in finding some of these player accounts and helping Easy Anti-Cheat by giving telemetry about those players so that they can more easily detect other players doing the same thing.
In the past, we've announced big ban waves when we've done that, but we don't announce every ban and every time we ban small groups of people. It would just be like, it's going to get to the point of who cares? You banned another 20 people, you caught these 15. So it's happening, we take it serious. I know Scott and the team are all over it, but it's just not something we feel like we need to update on a micro basis.
Right, and the other thing I was going to say was with these ban waves too, like we don't immediately ban accounts usually as soon as we detect something because we generally want to like confirm things and let it sit for a little bit before we issue a big ban wave so we can get more accounts than just a couple because it's just the back and forth is just too much, you know, it's a lot.
Are you going to counter this?
I mean, dude, if there's people paying $100 a month to be able to cheat in New World, then I would imagine the people who are receiving that $100 are gonna try their best to make sure it doesn't get detected. Because man, if you're making that moolah off of these cheaters, then yeah, it's gonna be a battle against them, dude. If they're making that much money, allegedly. All right, but in general, you know, I just spent the past month queuing Outpost Rush every single day for like 5 hours a day. I really don't know if I ever felt like I was playing against anyone cheating, but maybe I just don't know what it looks like, chat, these days. But there wasn't any instance where I was like, oh dude, that guy's clearly cheating. Throughout like a month of queuing Outpost Rush back to back every single day to try and get that flippin' artifact life stuff.
Staggering imbalance of factions in open world during influence races. One faction on my server greens simply have easy more players than other factions, so it's 3v30 fights on towers.
Yeah.
Teleporting mechanic is not working at all for the balance, so please do not even try to justify current situation with it.
Don't even try.
Sorry, I will not try to justify. I think there are sometimes some imbalances in factions. I think when we look at the data, it's generally not very askew, right? Like, so there can be some differences, but I don't think there's cases in which, you know, one faction has 10 to 20 times the other factions. How many people show up to an individual race is much harder to control than overall faction balance. On my server, you know.
True.
more people in a faction I'm in have started showing up for races, but we didn't a while ago. And I think that there's ebbs and flows there that will happen over time. Currently, there's no plan other than the maximum cap to adjust for this. And I think this is, a case where I think, hopefully people find the influence races rewarding and fun, and you can sort of gather up more people on the factions that are weaker. There are overlying mechanics to try to help balance out the factions at a macro level. We're going to continue to support those. Like, you can only transfer out of the most dominant faction, things like that. And that's sort of our current plan.
Yeah, I don't know how we solve for the case that this person's complaining about, because if only 3 of their factions showed up, we're not going to limit the other faction to 3, because then you could game the system by putting your best player. Like, it's a hard problem. I think you nailed it, though. The key is the onus on us is to make the rewards good enough and enticing enough to draw more players in, to make it something that you really want to partake in.
Yeah.
And you could maybe give some sort of like population buff where, like, if there's less of you and more of them, then you get a buff by being in the area with less people. I feel like this is going to be abused like really heavily, and probably not the correct way to do it. But that's the only thing that came to my head. Like, if there's only like 5 Covenant and there's 30 Marauders, then the 5 Covenant get like a damage healing buff. But it's just gonna feel kind of rough though if there's like 5 people and they're like taking on like triple their number because they've got this stupid buff that's giving them extra health and damage. Probably not a good idea, but
it's definitely not just a pure numbers game, right? The
No,
quality
for sure.
and the communication and coordination within groups is a huge like multiplier on how effective like a smaller group can be.
Any plans on reworking reward systems to encourage replayability? Loot biasing and rework of perks did a pretty good job acquiring gear that feels useful. That said, it sucks. Content like 10-man and 20-man trials are again abandoned with 625 gear score rewards that already have fixed mediocre perks.
true.
Fixed name perks are subjective to people, whether they are good or not, but the gear that comes with 2 perkers and RNG 3rd perk and a random gear score gives us a little bit of control.
I never really did understand why they didn't update the loot table for the Sandworm. Considering that they put all the effort into the Sandworm to make it like a cool boss fight, and not that many people did it when it first came out because it was pretty challenging and you need 20 people together, but it just feels like they put a lot of effort into making the boss fight and then they couldn't be bothered to update the loot table. But it's just, you spent like, 100+ hours designing that fight or whatever, maybe more. Why not just update the loot table for it to make it a bit better instead of just having it being obsolete content? Because you're aware we have a content lack in New World, so just take what we existingly have and just modify it. That has always been a bit strange to me. Let's see what they say.
In general, yes, we are aware that some of our content does not have updated rewards. We are going to be looking into that. We don't have explicit timelines yet, but it is on our
not good enough, Dave.
radar, and we want it to happen. I think
It's been 4 months.
that is fun content. The Sandworm.
Yeah.
I do it just for the dark matter. I'm sure a lot of
We do as
other
well,
people
but
do it
more
for that.
people
So
would
if your
do it.
company does it, or is it capable? It's a good source of dark matter. But I agree, the actual gear rewards for that content, and especially the hatchery, just is not up to par, is not where it needs to be. We're aware of it. It's on our radar, and will be coming in the future.
I think that's all fine and well, but it's been 4 months since the expansion came out, and you would think that within 4 months they would have, I don't know, they would have some sort of address for it, and the fact that they still said that we don't have any plans in the immediate future or no date to announce yet, like how long will it actually be until the Sandworm gets updated? Because if that was 4 months ago, and there's still no plans, I assume we're still waiting for like at least another 2 months, so it's gonna be 6 months without the Sandworm getting an updated loot table. And again, I just think, if we can't get new content in fast enough, then just take some of the old content, recycle it, go. Just use some soul trials, make them repeatable. Update the Sandworm, take the hatchery, take the content that you got in the game and just tweak it. Tweak it, dude. Let's go.
All right, I think you should expand on named gear that have 2 perkers and random 3rd or kiln. It's a very good approach to chasing our own ideal gear with moderate control, but still needs decent time to sink in resources and gives every place a unique purpose. For example, Water-Legged Earring from Barnacles Mutated gives 2 BIS slots, which are Fortifying Toast and Refreshing Toast, and then encourage either to do M2, M3 to RNG their 3rd perk, which encouraged replayability. This should be used everywhere else too, between dungeons and raids especially.
Okay.
Agree. We love this pattern, and I think you'll see that in the expansion, most of our named gear followed this pattern, and I think it's something we're going to continue to do. So we agree, we love this pattern. I do think, for some pieces we'd like having the prescriptive 3. We don't want to like box ourselves into only one solution, but this is something that I've loved for a long time. I think, like the person who asked the question, what I like about it is, you can keep doing it and trying to get that 3rd perk, or nowadays you can spend the resources and manually upgrade it yourself. So that option is, I think, a great choice for players.
Yeah, I do like the upgrade idea and the gypsum kiln. I do think is pretty cool. Like it's a little bit expensive with the 3 chromatic seals and the matrix and stuff, but I do think it's a pretty good system. I like I think I like the upgrading with dark meta gypsum kiln maybe more than the umbral shards. Were they saying something about it specifically being an M3 though, chat? Then people either do M2, M3 to RNG the 3rd perk to be encouraged replayability. Yeah, I don't know about encouraging M3, but at the same time not supporting it with cross-server group finder. That would be a bit of a weird clash of things. Anyway, let's go on to the next question here.
Yourself. So that option is, I think, a great choice for players.
All right. The main story quest has been randomly bugged for many players, unable to progress through it at some point for many months in a row now. It has been reported so many times, but no ETA and nothing in sight in the patch notes. Very frustrating for any new player in New World. Why is it not a priority?
Yeah, I think I got a message from some guy in Discord, and I was trying to help him get his heart rune, and I was like, all right, you got to do all the quests in you got to do the main story quest in Brimstone up to this point, and then you'll unlock the heart rune quest. And it turned out sadly, after trying to help him for like, several days, just back and forth with the messages, I think his character was just bugged because he's like done all the Brimstone main story quest, but that quest just isn't there to get the heart rune. And that sucks. Like some people just straight up can't get their heart rune on their character. I think Shroud had this problem for the longest time, and I think he still does. I think Shroud still can't get his heart rune on his New World character. I think if you have like a character that's older, like from the past, it's just basically the only solution is to make a new character, which is pretty rough. Yeah.
It's a massive excuse me. It's a massive priority, and we fixed many of the issues. I would love to get specifics on which ones people are still running into. Because we're hearing, I keep hearing repeatedly, hey, it's bugged and I'm stuck, but I'm not getting specifics, and I want to be able to go back to the team with that. I've looked on a lot of the threads, I'm not seeing it, so if you could reply to this thread so we could see it on Reddit somewhere, we'll find it and then we'll try to fix it as fast as possible.
Okay. Yeah, we're just to add on to that, we're having trouble reproducing the issues, right? Like, because there's so many different states a player could have been in. Like, did they play 6 months ago, 12 months ago, and they're coming back? Which achievements we use. The various steps in quests, we use like an achievement backlog to track where you are. And it's just hard. There's so many permutations that we're not able to sort of reproduce these in. And I think, like Scott said, we put out a lot of fast patches in Season 4 to sort of try to fix these issues. We know they're super important. We love the MSQ. We want players to be able to do it. But we just need a little more information to help us track it down, and then we'll fix them.
And there's at least one more of those fixes coming out in the next minor patch.
Awesome. That's good.
Speaking of bugs, the bug with Boltcaster elemental damage conversion for PvP was known to YouTubers since it came available.
Heckin' YouTubers, dude.
Were also made on Discord. Why did it take until another buff arranged on PvE to notice it and react with turning off the conversion and magnify? Can we expect the delayed content from Season 4 to be free of game-breaking bugs? For example, unfinishable trial boss.
Yeah, I think Boltcast has been bugged for like, was it 2 weeks now? It's taken a while to get it back in. I don't know. Maybe. I think there's going to be a patch on Wednesday, though. If this video goes out on YouTube today, Monday, maybe Tuesday, then I think it's going to be Wednesday the 24th. So hopefully Boltcast is going to be back in. I'm not really looking forward to it coming back, but it has been a while. It's been disabled.
I do think our response to this one is a little bit slow. Actually, I know Scott was bugging me about it over the holiday break a little bit. I think a part of this, not to put blame on it, the holiday break, it slowed our iteration down a little bit. And then second, turning off a new artifact is a big deal. It's something we don't like to do. And
2 new artifacts, actually.
Maybe we could get away without
Speedy boots
having
as well.
to do that. But I think with the additional change to the PvE, PvP balance, it became clear with this additional, it's just not going to work. So, it's unfortunately, it's a failure on our team to have to turn off an artifact. And in this case, we had to. We're sorry we had to do that. In retrospect, we probably should have done it a little sooner. The good news is a fix is coming out on the mid-January update that will allow us to fix this and turn back on this artifact.
I guess that's
And
this
you
week
should
then,
be able
chat.
to count on new content coming out without bugs, and it's something we're working on.
I hope
All
so,
right,
Scott. I
quality
hope
of
so.
life and
I hope so,
balance.
dude.
Get your anti-cheat working. There are multiple videos on YouTube of known hackers in OPR.
This
They
again.
have been reported and everyone in each world server knows about them. How are you not banning them? Why is that not a priority? Edit. And no, your data does not show that there are no hackers. There are hackers. If you played the game, you would know that.
Yes, so we
Andy.
definitely know that there are hackers.
These
You know,
comments.
we are detecting them, we are
I
banning
mean-
them. As we detect them, like I said before, there have been some situations, I was talking with the security team today about this. There have been some situations where we provide that data to Easy Anti-Cheat, and they come back and they say, there's no evidence of hacking on this particular account. So, it's not every single case. But like I said, we have people on the problem working on it all the time.
Yeah, this is kind of the same question
It's
from
a hard
earlier.
problem.
Yeah.
Like, you're always playing catch up when it comes to hackers. You're always one step behind, trying to fix the problem and block it, but then they find a new way in. I mean, it's not easy. We're applying a lot of resources toward this.
Yeah, and they are too, because it's their full-time job.
Yeah, they make money from it.
With the addition of gold sinks such as Azoth, inductors, or chromatic seals, and high material costs for 3 perk items, is there any chance that respeccing the character won't take gold anymore, but instead Azoth?
Yeah, dude.
As things stand now, especially newer players really suffer from having to respec as they don't have their ideal builds yet.
Dude, we've been talking about this for ages on the stream, being able to respec with Azoth. I wonder what they say. They're probably going to say no, because it's like, oh, we need it for the economy balance, but it would be pretty nice to be able to respec with Azoth. Or include it in like gear sets. That would be like the ultimate solution for me, is like when you change your gear set, it changes your stats, so you can like assign weapon mastery and stuff to gear sets. That'd be really cool. Anyway.
Yeah. Is this me or you? Well, okay. So we talk about this a lot. As a player, I really, really want to not have to spend the money because it gets in the way. But what we're wrestling with is it's our 3rd biggest sink in the game. Right?
Yeah.
It's I think 12% of our coin sink is the respecking. So we're trying to weigh, what's a better experience for the players, this or the potential inflation it causes, and it's something we'll make a decision on here in the next few weeks, and we'll move forward. But it's not just a slam dunk. Yeah, we don't like it, get rid of it. It's more of a let's make sure we understand the downstream impact before we make a decision on something like this, because I think it warrants a little more thought.
Quality.
I would say, in my opinion, one of the benefits of New World, one of the strong things about New World, is you can be a tank, a healer, a DPS, all with one character, right? That's like the unique thing about the game. There are some other games that do this as well. For example, Albion Online. I want to say Guild Wars 2 to some extent. I also want to say Final Fantasy. You can choose the job. I believe in every one of those games that has it as a feature where like one class can be multiple characters. You're not punished for changing the character. I don't believe there's any resource that the game asks you to pay. You can just do it on the fly. And I think that's something that New World needs to apply as well. I could be wrong here. I might be wrong about that statement, but I do believe that there shouldn't be a tax for like taking one of the cool features about New World and then discouraging players from doing it. Like, oh, you want to play tank? Well, you have to pay for that. Every time you want to like change role, you have to keep paying this tax. It's not very fun. It feels like it's the opposite of what the game wants you to do, right? Like it takes away from the thing that's fun and unique about New World. So figure out some sort of other gold sink, I would say. I mean, that's easy for me to say, right? But I think it would be better to try and find some way to, find a different way to gold sink to make that so there's less barriers to taking, getting in one of the cool features of New World. Hopefully that makes sense.
Of life. Is there plans to add more than 2 mutators per cycle?
Yeah, this is coming with the group
Yes,
finder, right?
there is. And in fact,
A yes answer.
yes. In fact, as we introduce the new pickup group finder, we are going to increase the number. I think this allows people to
3,
get in
right?
easier cross-world matchmaking. So it seemed like the right time to do it. So expect when this goes fully live that we will go to 3 mutations.
Pretty excited about that.
Me too. And I think that will be great for people chasing artifacts or wanting to upgrade them. It'll just be easier to get into those expeditions.
Yeah, exactly. Getting through your your kills.
Okay, awesome. And another bug question. Any updates on the bug where players cannot see their objectives when pressing J? It seems a bugged event quest seems to be the culprit.
Yeah, and that's a good call. That was the culprit. I think it was due to one of the summer Medley Fair event quests, maybe more than one. But there is a fix for that internally, and it should be out by the end of the month in one of the next minor patches.
Okay. All right, those are all the questions we're taking for today.
Awesome, ending on 2 yeses. Good stuff. We're really excited to hear the feedback. Keep it coming. Just a reminder, earlier on I mentioned that MSQ bug. Please give us more details and information on like how you ran into that, because if it's still happening, we want to fix it.
Loud.
Otherwise, thank you, and we will see you all in the tournament.
Next video.
And like and subscribe.
And follow.
Do that with this YouTube video as well, by the way. Chat, like and subscribe and follow. Balance of Power 2024. Okay, so this is going to be David V talking about weapon balance in New World. That's probably going to be on Wednesday. Well, there we are, friends. That was another Q&A for January 2024. Based on the reactions of Twitch chat, it's probably just going to annoy a lot of people. That being said, I still, as always, I appreciate that they put these videos out. I think it would be better that they did this than didn't do that. Just some of the answers are a little bit frustrating, right? You know, like we have, you know, they say like we have plans to do something, but it's like they've had plans for such a long time. It's like, when do we actually get to see the implementation, you know? Like the sandworm thing, for example, like it's 4 months ago since the expansion was added in, and they said we've got plans to update the loot table, but when? Like it's all fine and well that we have plans to add a new outpush rush map, but it's like, what is it go like 3 years from now? Just a little bit frustrating. But I think also right now is, you know, it's a bit of a negative space for New World right now, because we are 4 months after the expansion. Season 4 wasn't really that great in terms of content, didn't add a lot. Some bugs. We still got the disabled Boltcaster. It does sound like there is Boltcaster and the attuned, what are they called? The Speedy Boots. Both of those are going to be back on Wednesday the 24th. That's what I'm taking from it. They said it was a mid-January update, but it's actually like towards the end of January, but I assume that's the same thing. Somebody else in the chat also asked, just out of interest, somebody said how many people are working on New World. I don't think we definitively know, but there is kind of a way that you can get an answer to this question. If you take a look at their, they did this New Year video. Where is it? Is it still around? Forged in Eternum, favorite characters, economy. It's this one here. So
Ed Corlew here.
I'm gonna mute it. So you go through, it's like a 8-minute long video where it's like people from the New World dev team saying, you know, what they kind of do or whatever, and they're saying happy holidays. And there's quite a few people in this video. So and I don't think that's the whole team either as well. It's just these three dudes. No, there's definitely more than 3 dudes working on New World. I don't know, chat. If I had to guess, it's probably like a team of 50. It could be more, could be less. I think it depends whether you mean like devs in the sense of like them making the game, or devs in the sense of like community and sales and, you know, people who respond to emails and stuff. Look like, yeah, in the credits it's like voice actors. I mean, you know, there's a lot of people are credited, but how many are on the game now as opposed to you know, during the expansion or whatever. Anyway, YouTube, this video's probably gotten long enough, friends, so that was the Forged in Eternum Q&A for 2024. Let me know what you guys think in those comments down below. If you want to watch stuff like this live on the stream, if you want to be in Twitch chat and interact live and ask questions and stuff, then we're live pretty much every day on Twitch other than Sundays. I'll put a link to the stream in the description down below. As always, if you enjoyed the video, the old like and subscribe is much appreciated, and I'll catch you guys all in the next video.